Each year, the honors program looks to enroll about 525 students, so we represent about 10% of the incoming class. Currently at the University of Georgia, we represent about 9% of the total population of undergraduate students. There are 25,000 undergraduate students at the University of Georgia, 2,400 honors students at Georgia. Now let's say that you don't get into the University of Georgia honors program directly from high school. There's still one last chance to get into the program through what we call first semester entry. So once you enroll at the University of Georgia, you must take at least 15 credit hours, and of those 15 credit hours, 14 of them must be letter graded A through F. So that means you can have one pass-fail course, which is typically like a PE. After taking the 15 credit hours and completing them, you have to at least have a 3.75 cumulative UGA GPA to be considered for the honors program. It's still a competitive process, and I need you to understand that applying to college and applying to the honors program is a competitive process unlike any other that you would probably imagine. It's not like a football game, it's not like a basketball game, it's more like a track meet. Applying to college is like a swim meet. Because in football and basketball, when you think about it, if you lose a football game or a basketball game, part of that's your fault, right? Because you didn't play good defense. But what can you do defensively in a track meet or swim meet? Absolutely nothing. All you can do is try harder. So I think that's what I'm trying to say to you right now. Do your best, because when applying to college, you are entering into a competition with all of the other students applying to that institution. All of the other students graduating from high school and who are college bound that year. And there's nothing you can do about them. All you can do is sell yourself in a better light, because it is a very competitive process. Who has some questions for me? Yes, ma'am. So the question was, of the students who are applying early action and the honors program reviews for automatic acceptance, are their SAT and ACT scores already super scored? And the answer is yes. We will always super score everything. So always send us all of your test scores, because we're only going to look at your highest sub score. Yes, ma'am. So the question is, she has heard that if you're in the honors program, you have to stay in the honors program residence hall. That's not true at the University of Georgia, and you have to do your research for the other schools that you're looking at, because some of the schools may have those requirements. Remember, I told you at Georgia, you're integrated into the population of traditional students. On some campuses, if you're in the honors program, you don't see anyone else. You just see honors students. You just see the professors and the faculty members who teach those honors students. That's not the case at Georgia. So we will have some students who will choose to live in Myers Hall, which is our honors residence hall, and then we'll have some students who choose to live in the high rises. So you're going to have to live on campus in your first year, but no, you don't have to live in our magnet residence hall. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. So the question goes back to super scoring. Does that mean that we take the highest cumulative score or the highest in each section? We take the highest in each section. So I'm going to take your highest critical reading score, then I'm going to take your highest critical math score and your highest critical writing score, and they don't have to be in the same sitting, and then we'll come up with a new composite. So overall, that's why it's called a super score, because we only look at the best things. Yes, sir. How do we calculate GPA to get into the honors program? GPA at the University of Georgia is going to be calculated the same on both aspects of it. I always tell people when thinking about your GPA, I encourage you to look at your unweighted GPA. The reason that I say look at your unweighted GPA is because you're guaranteed to at least hit it, what we're going to calculate, or be below it. When it comes down to weight, I've never really seen too much of a point added to a student's GPA based upon their weight. The most I've ever seen was a .03. .03 is not the deciding factor whether or not you got into the honors program or you got into the University of Georgia. The next thing I want to tell you is on your transcript, the GPA you see there is wrong. It's not wrong the way Milton counts it, but it's wrong the way that colleges are going to look at it. First thing we're going to do with your transcript is we're going to take a black marker and we're going to mark out that GPA. We're not going to use it. The reason we're not going to use it is because there's a lot of extra stuff in there. There may be some weight that was added to that GPA away from your raw score. Also, it an APR or an AP Music Theory, that's also going to count in your academic GPA. But gifted lunch and PE won't count. So we're going to mark out everything that's not academic. The next thing that we're going to look at is going to be your letter grade or your raw score. So meaning the numeric grade out beside your course or the letter grade out beside your course. And for every A, we give you 4 points. For every B, we give you 3 points. For every C, 2, and so on. We'll add up all of those points, and we'll divide by the total number of courses. And that's how we're going to get your GPA. Now, when it comes down to weighted or unweighted, if your high school weighted your raw score, then we're not going to remove that weight. And by weighting your raw score, that means that they give you points into that numeric grade out beside your course. So the example I used with the group earlier was, say for instance, you take AP Biology, and maybe Milton gives you 5 points just because it's AP Biology. So essentially, if it says a 92 on your transcript, you actually made an 87. But they're going to make you feel good because you took AP Biology. We're going to give you a couple extra points there. So you moved from a B to an A, which means essentially that you got a full point on the 4.0 scale because a B would have been 3 points and an A is now 4 points. So it helps you in that case. The University of Georgia always gives an extra half a point for every AP course as long as your high school hasn't weighted it. So if they did that for you, we're not going to give you an extra half a point. So you're not going to get anything from us. So sometimes it's helpful if the school has weighted your raw score. Let me give you an example of where it might not be helpful. Say for instance you actually have an 87 on your transcript. So that means you actually made an 82. They gave you 5 points, but it really didn't amount to much on the 4.0 scale because you went from having a B to having a B, as well as the University of Georgia is not going to give you that half a point. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's the fairest way to calculate GPAs, and like I said, in the end, when you think about all the courses that you've taken in your high school career, it's not very much once it's all divided out. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Could you go over again what it takes to stay in the honors program if there is a requirement once you're in it?
Okay, so the question is what it takes to stay into the honors program once you're in it. So, requirement to, there are a few requirements of honors students. First of all honors students must complete 9 honors courses by graduation to graduate with that distinction of being a student in the honors program. And there's only one course required of all honors students, and that's our Honors 1080 course, which is an introductory mentorship course. That's it. The rest of the honors courses, you make the decision on what you're going to take. The requirement is also that you have to maintain at least a 3.4 academic GPA while at the University of Georgia to remain in the honors program. So your cumulative UGA GPA must be a 3.4 to remain in the honors program. If you fall below a 3.4, we'll put you on probation and you still have an opportunity to bring it up. Other questions? All right, guys. Well, if y'all don't have any other questions, I'm going to turn it back over to your teachers. Before I leave, I just want to let you know that if you need to get in contact with me or if you have questions after I leave, my email address is pretty simple. It's TNO. So my first name is Tino. It's spelled T-I-N-O, but I thought I was really clever when I was a student. So my email address is tno@uga.edu. So tno@uga.edu. That's how you can get in contact with me with any questions that you may have. Good luck to you in your senior year. Really enjoy high school. It's not the most challenging thing, I'll tell you that. If you think that you're challenged right now, wait till you get to college. So enjoy high school because college is coming. It's a fun thing. It's going to be stressful. It will be stressful for you. How many of you are excited about going to college in 2 years? All right. Raise your hand if you're scared. No one's scared. A couple people are scared. You should be scared because for the first time in your life, you're going to be living on your own. You're going to be doing your own laundry. You're going to be cleaning your own room, and I'm sure many of you probably have those responsibilities now, but you'll really get to see how you live when you live in college. Also, just really enjoy the experience of high school and college. Enjoy the people that you meet because those people will follow you for the rest of your life. And make a decision on college based upon what you are interested in. I can talk to them blue in the face about the University of Georgia, the honors program. I'm a student, or I was a student at Georgia. Actually, I'm working on a second degree now. also, but it's important to find what best fits you. Don't just go to an institution because your parents went there. Don't just go to an institution because you love their mascot or you love their football team. Go to it for the right reasons for their academics, okay? Thank y'all so much for being so attentive.